In my latest video, I was making a commentary about Charlie Kirk and Israel. You can check out in my timeline, in my Body Language Guy homepage. And on that video, I made a remark about, well, I covering pretty much every single aspect, every single fact, every single theory, everything about the Charlie Kirk case. And that is not exactly true. There's at least one piece of the puzzle that I either did not address or did not address that properly. And it was the guy who asked the question when Charlie Kirk was shot. I remember that in one of those first analyses, trying to make sense of all the barrage of information, I remember making a passing comment about him not addressing much about this, saying that maybe this he looked sincere. But today I got I got tagged on X. Remember that you can follow me on X or Instagram with the link in the description here under the video. I got a tag on X on this video from this account, Candice Espo, in which she shows the same guy. I don't remember his name. His name is Hunter Kozak. Hunter Kozak. This is allegedly Hunter Kozak before Charlie's arrival. And you see in this video posted by Candice Espo that he is bringing his hands to his head. All right? And then apparently the claim of the video is that he was practicing his reaction before Charlie arrived. So when he was asking the actual question about transgender violence, and he was here, you can see there's absolutely nothing gore in this picture. You can see that he had the same reaction. I'm gonna mute this because we don't need the sound. We just need the movement. So he was kind of practicing the movement according to this clip. And then when it happened, he did the same movement. All right. Okay, let's address that. So first of all, I'm going to play this without sound just once. And again, I'm pretty sure that I addressed this at least passingly, did not dedicate a video to it, but mention it on one of my first videos, maybe the first day, maybe in September 10 or September 11. And I saw his words, the way that he expressed himself. I felt it was genuine. The way that the muscles in his face were moving are consistent with somebody who is telling the truth, that he was not expecting that. In fact, I saw, when I saw the clip of him reacting to the shot, you see that the way he moves his hands is like in terror. I'm going to play this, like the moment of the shot again. So you see that he's trembling, like he's shaking his hands, right? Okay, here it goes. Okay, his hands are literally shaking in horror. That is a reaction. That is, I mean, that is an actual reaction of horror. There it is. Okay, it's like he's shaking and he's cowering. After that, the things that you could argue is that he didn't flinch. I don't know if it's okay. No, he did actually flinch. He actually, he raised, you see that just when people drop to begin dropping to the ground or drop, he raised his shoulders just a bit. Maybe since he was focused on, I think that at that moment he was not talking because Charlie was answering. You remember that Charlie was finishing answering a question, and he like lowered the mic, and then he was shot. He was not. This guy was not speaking at that moment, and then he was shot. Now I don't see the same movement here in this very cropped video. Okay, he just brings the hands to his head. If he was rehearsing, I mean, this is the theory, right? That this was kind of an actor that was hired to pretend that he was terrified of the shot. So you mean that the conspiracy would mean that he was into it because he knew that it was going to happen. So he was acting. You see what it implies, right? If he was rehearsing, as these are the claims of this, he was rehearsing the movement. That is not the same movement because here his hands were shaking in terror, all right? And here it's not the same movement at all. He's just bringing his hand to his head, and we don't know, we can't see if he was talking to somebody and he was, oh no, something has been canceled or something, or he was reacting to a conversation. And again, it's not the same movement. It would also mean that he was in the knowledge that Charlie was going to be shot. Again, let's say that for a minute that is true. Let's you know that that is the main exercise we do in this channel. If that was true, don't you think that that would have added a layer of complexity, or how I use a word, not a loose and, but there's a word for that. There's an exact word for that. It would be a liability. It would be a liability if you had one guy who knew too much when all that he had to do was to ask a question about transgender violence, if that was the intention, right? I repeat, I made a video about that. It was really difficult for Tyler Robinson, being where he was, to have heard that the question was about transgender violence the moment that he shot Charlie Kirk. That I made a dedicated video about that. But again, it would have meant that this guy knew that Charlie Kirk was going to be shot and had to act like he was terrified. I mean, if I was coordinating, I'm gonna play like if I am the mastermind of this conspiracy, of this assassination. If I was thinking about this, I would make sure for this guy to just ask the question and not know what it was going to happen. I would manipulate him or anybody else, maybe not only him, maybe 2 other guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, through the same forums. Will they gather to, speak about things and stuff? Oh yeah, transgender, how dare they claim about trans. Somebody should go out there and ask Charlie Kirk about transgender violence. Make sure that not one, many of them try to ask the question about transgender violence without necessarily knowing that what's going to happen. You just need somebody to ask the question. You don't need them to know what's going to happen. You understand, right? You want this as clean as possible. As so many people say that, okay, this was a carefully crafted operation. If this was a carefully crafted operation, you know for a fact that one of the first guys who are going to be interrogated and investigated is, well, the one who was asking the question, and precisely a question about transgender violence. So that would have been really moronic and retarded for, if you're crafting this conspiracy, for this guy to be in the know of what was going to happen. Because, well, the FBI, as, let's say, semi-competent that they could have been traced to the mastermind, through somebody who knew too much. Does that make sense? So again, I wanted to address this because, this video, not gonna lie, was interesting at first, but instantly I noticed that it was not the same movement. He is just bringing his hands to the head, and we don't know what he's reacting to, a conversation, whatever. And this is absolutely not the same reaction here, in which his hands are shaking in terror. So again, well, I appreciate the intention, Candice Espo, but no, it's not the same. Again, you don't you don't love a conspiracy theory more than me. I love them. I love to know what went on in here. What is the truth about here? What's going on? We needed to know the truth. But sometimes, let's say that some things are just dead ends, and we know we have to maybe focus on other things that are stronger clues. But again, remember that I have a dedicated channel for my political commentary, The Power Pundit. Link in the description of this video. Make sure to go like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language Guy. Much love and bliss.